What's up, everyone? Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. Welcome to my DC Universe podcast, episode 7. So I know this video is a bit late, but I gave you guys my word yesterday that I would, I, well, I would do these videos today, both for Marvel and DC, because as you guys know, I've said it before, like, doing these podcasts, like the Marvel one and the DC one, are some of my favorite videos I get to do on the channel. So yeah, so let's get started. So for DC today, for the DC Universe podcast today, we have a few stories involving the Lanterns HBO Max series. We have Catwoman probably showing up in James Gunn's DCU. We have James Gunn teasing Static Shock, and 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 yeah. So yeah. And so let's get started. So we're gonna start off with the Lantern stuff. So I have two Lantern stories for you today. Um, so Lanterns is the next, well, probably the next thing to be released from DC Studios. Like, they're not releasing anything else this year, but next year is gonna be big for them because they have Lanterns, Supergirl, and Clayface coming out next year. I'm very excited for all three of those projects. Um, Lanterns has always interested me because they say it's like a true detective story with lanterns. I think the casting, um, I think I'm rewatching Mayor of Kingstown right now so I can review it for my country channel, because if you guys don't know, I cover all Taylor Sheridan shows and everything that dude creates. Taylor Sheridan is like my favorite producer on my country channel. So yeah, and Kyle Chandler's in that, and he's very Hal Jordan esque in that. Like, he's not a good character, but he has that Hal Jordan sass. And when I've always thought that Aaron Pierre would be a perfect Jon Stewart because of the movie Rebel Ridge. If you haven't watched Rebel Ridge, um, watch Rebel Ridge. He basically plays Jon Stewart without the Green Lantern ring. Like, that's how good this guy is as, like, that sort of type of character, right? So yeah, but we have some villain rumors of this series. So we know basically nothing about this series. We know who's cast in this series. We know, like, we have the description of the series, but we know basically nothing, right? So keep in mind, guys, this is a rumor, or these are rumors involving this series, right? So, um, let's talk about it. So, first, Parallax might be a big villain and a big threat going forward after Lanterns for the DCU. And this would excite me. Now, for those of y'all that aren't very familiar with Green Lantern lore, who's Parallax? Parallax is what Hal Jordan turns. So Parallax is what the Sinestro Corps use for their battery, right? So you know how Green Lanterns have, like, the batteries, the will batteries, right? Um, and they use will to power up their rings and stuff. Parallax is fear, right? But Parallax, instead of a battery, he's an entity, right? So he's like an alien, right? And what happens in the comics is how Jordan gets possessed by Parallax and basically turns evil for a bit. Or not basically, he does turn evil for a bit, and he, like, has to fight the Justice League, right? Right? Which if they were to do that, I know we're setting up Salvation, and James Gunn's gonna do his own take on Salvation and stuff like that. But if they were gonna do, like James Gunn's also said that Salvation isn't the only arc we have going on for the future of the DCU. So if they are going to do Parallax, I would be very excited. Noah, why would you be very excited? Because once Hal Jordan is healed, like Parallax makes Hal Jordan look older, right? Parallax makes Hal Jordan look like he's in his 60s when he's in his 30s, right? Right? And you guys know, am I nervous about Kyle Chandler playing Hal Jordan? Yes. And I'll tell you why. I think it's a great casting for Hal Jordan, but I'll tell you why I'm nervous. Kyle Chandler is 60. If you have him as Parallax, though, that would kind of make up for it, because you could defeat Hal as Parallax. Hal could go back to normal, and then you could, and then you could, you could have him on a redemption arc, right? And I think Parallax would be a very good villain for the Justice League to fight. And I think it's a character that James Gunn and DC Studios would do. So, yeah. So, that would be very exciting if it was Parallax. Okay. One more villain rumor for you. The Center. Now this one is a stretch. I want to make it very clear, because yesterday, I think it was yesterday, so they just had a wrap party for Lanterns, I think they just had a wrap party for Lanterns. If you don't know what a wrap party is, it's when you finish. I'm not an actor, but I know what it is because I've been following a lot of YouTubers that know what it is. It's when you finish a series, you have like a party and stuff like that to commemorate you finishing the series and to celebrate or the season so far. And you get like gifts from the cast and stuff like that. Like if you've heard, like for example, like Keanu Reeves bought the whole stunt crew of John Wick. I know John Wick's a movie, but they also have wrap parties for movies too, right? Keanu Reeves bought the whole cast. I mean, not the whole cast. The whole stunt crew of performers that work on John Wick, like Rolexes and stuff like that. So everybody got a hat from this Lanterns party, and it could be three possibilities. Now, we're gonna go with most likely first. So this hat had, like, I've seen the hat on social media, and I just think it looks like what the Green Lantern logo is gonna be, because it looks like a Green Lantern power battery. That's what it looks like to me. But other people think so. That's probably the most likely option, because it looks like a power battery to me. And I've been reading comics and into this stuff since I was like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? So I've been in it for I've been in it since I was younger than that. I've been into like superhero stuff since I was 7, so or since I was even younger than that, but whatever. So it just looks like a power battery to me. But hey, let's I'll tell you what other people are saying. So there's 2 rumors. Again, are they realistic? No. It's probably a power battery. The new power battery logo for the Lantern show. But people are saying it could be Vicenter. Now, if you're asking, Noah, what's Vicenter? Vicenter is also known as Dinosaur Island. What was on what was the noise we heard at the end of Peacemaker? What did it sound like? Peacemaker season 2. It sounded like dinosaurs, right? Right. And Vicenter's a really cool character, and that's a really cool villain, and that's something that James Gunn would do 100%. That's in his wheelhouse. Now, if you're asking me, do I want Vicenter and stuff like that? Yeah, to a certain degree, I do, but, like, dude, like, I want, like, Lanterns, I want to see them tackle, like, the Green Lantern mythos above anything else, right? Like, I love future setup, and if, like, Bruce is in Lanterns, if Clark is in Lanterns, we know Guy's in Lanterns, we know Nathan Fillion's back as Lanterns, then back in Lantern, back as Guy Gardner in Lanterns. But, like, you have so much Green Lantern lore that, like, that's the only space stuff I want to see, right? Like, the Green Lantern lore and stuff like that. Now, if they have a cool way to do Vicenter and stuff like that, that's cool. But, like, they've said this is like they haven't said grounded look. They said more grounded look at the DCU. But if you've heard the people that direct the episodes in interviews, right? They've said it starts grounded, like, so you can learn how to introduce the characters and stuff like that. I know we've been introduced to Green Lantern before. I know casual people do not watch this podcast, but like, we're all comic book fans. That's what I'm assuming, right? But I know people were introduced to Hal Jordan 13 years ago in that awful Green Lantern movie, and I don't feel bad for calling it awful. Even Ryan Reynolds calls it awful. So, but they're basically reintroducing a character to the world, right? In Hal Jordan, and they're introducing a new character in Jon Stewart. So for me, would I like Vicenter to be in the DCU at some point? Yes. Do I think it's in Lanterns? No. Right. And the truth is, dude, like, you could do so many different, like, you could bring in Atrocitus, you could bring in Sinestro, you could bring in, like, you could do, Blackest Night, or Darkest Night, you could do, you could do a lot of things. Now, the theory that I do like, that I think is even more unlikely than the center one, but I'm gonna cover it anyway. So people are like, the symbol on the hat could be a target for a certain Archer, Green Arrow. Now, I want to see Green Arrow in the DCU so bad. I think Green Arrow is well overdue for a movie. You guys know I love Arrow. Shout out to Stephen Amell. I love Arrow. But I want to see a Green Arrow Black Canary series, video game, or movie in the DCU. I really do. I really want to see that. I really want to see that in the DCU. With, in particular, Gwen Powell and Sydney Sweeney playing those two characters. But do I think it could be Green Arrow? It could. And you're like, no, a Green Lantern and Green Arrow don't really work together. Yeah, they do. they have a there's a comic book run called Green Lantern, Green Arrow, where Hal and um, Oliver work together, and it's a really good run. I recommend reading it. It actually breaks ground for some of the stuff that was covered in comic books for the very first time. Like there's a arc in the story that helps that Oliver and Hal help Roy uh, beat his drug addiction, and that was the first time that was ever done in comic books, or the first time that was done in the mainstream of comic books. So it's a really important run because it covers topics that had never been covered before in comic books. It's an old run, but it's really good. Um, my only concern again would be I don't want a 60-year-old Oliver Queen, bro. Like, I do not want a 60-year-old Oliver Queen. Parallax, if Parallax is what they are doing for Lanterns, then yeah, you can justify that. I just explained why you can justify that because like he's gonna be Parallax. He's gonna be around for a while. He's gonna get defeated and then he's gonna uh, get reborn, basically, right? But but doing a 60-year-old human character without powers, bro. Well, unless you're doing like somebody like Doctor Fate, who's usually in his 60s, but Doctor Fate has powers. Well, he has the um, helmet of Naboo and stuff like that. But yeah, so I would love to see a Green Arrow in this series. Again, my dream casting for Green Arrow is Glenn Powell, and my dream casting for Black Canary is Sydney Sweeney. I just think they have great chemistry, and especially Sydney Sweeney is very, very hot. So, yeah, and I think Black Canary needs to be very, very, very confident of it, but also very, very hot. So, I would love to see Green Arrow in James Gunn's DCU at some point because he's openly said he's a Green Arrow fan. Like, and you could do it, you could do it. So I would love to see Oliver and Dinah in. I would love to see Oliver in Lanterns and stuff like that. Again, my only concern is I don't want a 60-year-old Green Arrow. So yeah, because you can't, bruh, you can't justify that to me. Like, but like, um, unless you make, unless you still make the 60-year-old Green Arrow cool, like Sam Fisher was in Splinter Cell Death Watch, but still, like, I want a Green Arrow in their 40s, right? Or just starting out and stuff like that. And I want a Black Canary who's young as well, so they can be around for a while in this DCU. So, yeah. Um, now, um, so yeah, those are my two Lantern stories. I hope you guys are enjoying the podcast so far, and yeah. So James Gunn also teased Static. Now, if you don't know who Static is, sorry guys. If you don't know who Static is, he's uh, he was created by a great man who also wrote Young Justice, named Dwayne McDuffie. Rest in peace to Dwayne McDuffie. And Static is he has static electricity powers, right? He like his show is called Static Shock. So some of you that are my age probably watched that show growing up, right? So James Gunn talked about he wants to do um, Static in the DCU, but there's a lot of like legal tape because even though DC owns Static and stuff like that, or even though DC owns Static, it's still very, 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 very like Dwayne McDuffie obviously passed away, so like the family has to okay it and stuff like that, or the estate has to okay it for them to use Static in the DCU. So yeah, so that's all I got with that story. Now for the last story, we're gonna talk about Catwoman probably being in Brave and the Bold. So as you guys know, Brave and the Bold, like, we haven't gotten an update on it in a while. Like, James Gunn said, like, it's moving along. Like, the script is, like, he really likes where it's at. But, like, we haven't got a Batman yet. We haven't got a Robin yet. We haven't got a Nightwing yet. We haven't got anything yet. So there's a rumor going around that Catwoman is in this Brave and Bold movie. So, again, and please, James Gunn, cast your Batman soon so I don't have to keep saying this. Okay. Again, guys, this is not Robert Pattinson Batman. This is James Gunn's own version of Batman in his DCU, right? That him and his writer's room and all the people that run DC Studios are creating. This is a Batman who's older in his career, a Batman in his prime, at least in my opinion, right? From everything that we do know about this movie. This is a Batman who's probably in his late 30s to early 40s to late 40s, right? So like, he's been around the block for a while. Let's just put it that way. And I think the dynamic between a Catwoman and a Batman, especially a Batman of this age and a Catwoman of this age, would be very interesting. And I have a idea for how you could bring, like, I have an idea for the Batman and the Catwoman I want to see. Just copy off the Arkham games. Just copy off the Arkham games. That Batman is like the perfect Batman that I would want to see, right? He's been around for a while, right? I know the timeline got confusing after the dog shit game that was Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, but like Arkham Knight, Arkham City, and Arkham Asylum are still three of the best superhero games of all time, and that's like the version of Batman that I grew up with. Right, like I've played and beat all three of, like, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Origins, and Arkham Knight multiple times, right? And you know who would be perfect to play this version of Batman? If it was Arkham style, you know who I'm gonna say? My boy, Jensen Ackles. Yeah, that's who I want as Batman. Now, why do I think they should do an Arkham version of Catwoman? We haven't really got a comic book accurate version of Catwoman before. Like, the closest we've gotten to that is Michelle Pfeiffer in, like, the 80s. I think that's when the Batman movies came out. Right? So yeah. The closest we've gotten to a comic book accurate version of Catwoman is the 80s. The Arkham version of Catwoman is very, 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 very comic book accurate. And it would also force Bruce to be very, very comic book accurate too, which I would love to see an Arkham version of Catwoman and an Arkham version of Batman. So yeah, those are my topics today for episode 7 of the DC Universe podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys have a great day, and goodbye, and thank you for watching.